Welcome to a late IHP show with your 5D mystic to the future humans, self-empowered, enlightening, mystic, spiritual, mindful, living, loving people. We just had the release of a very special episode. Self-enlightening people, they spot vanity pitches, not just metrics. As an online marketer, yes, the metrics, well, any serious entrepreneur isn't about vanity anything because, serious people, they do the hard work. They're not about aesthetics. They are about strategy, yes. Strategy in a smart way. We don't treat consumers like morons, but then again, there are plenty of people who are technically half-brained, adaptive child part. So when you lack self-awareness and chosen accountability for the regulation skills that the 4D and 3D are choosing not to go get, so they don't choose mental and emotional intelligence. So they do not avoid the 5 things that we do avoid, the ones of us who continue living our best life ever, which is why self-enlightening people, yes, they do know that it's valuable to meet experts who also do real talk, which is why you can check out the real talk about what spiritual growth is. You own your sense of self, your body and connection. That's not like an alternative. It means you know how to regulate your nervous system. So you also know how to be responsible for your personal and spiritual growth. So no matter what ascension energies come about, you don't say darkness, soul, ego death, twin flame, someone did something. That's how people that don't know how to handle, yes, the emotional mental resiliency. They say, well, resiliency means we need to put up with stuff. Not really. We have a wise one in the midst of us. His name is Sadhguru. Let me share with you the wisdom. And also the 5D mystic and empowered feminine. Yes, I have yet to meet a challenger that could actually do something that the fearful ones don't make me think of, like, wow, such a badass, such a monster. No, I just cry for them. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is, I never left you. I cry for them, not anymore as much as I used to, but when I first met Peter Levine in my courses, and Bessel van der Kolk, and Dr. Daniel Siegel, and all the smart ones, all the very, very great ones in the future, they let us know why our brothers and sisters are not demons, Lucifer's monsters. There's no energy, vampire, dark aura, or anything like that. But when you don't know how to regulate your nervous system because you haven't chosen to take care of yourself and honor your inner child, well, that's not funny, but 4D and 3D, I was told a long time ago, I can still remember when I read about the split. Yes, it doesn't call that way because wisdom, it's not a split. It's actually, you can always choose to raise your frequency, just not through Boca Raton, as Patrick Tiahan, a really good therapist, points out. Because you don't unlearn the unhealthy self-soothing of your survival mode and the mechanisms of the inner critic, outer critic, the enmeshing, the yucky codependent people. It's yucky when you feel people in your energy sphere, when you own the sense of self, which is why there's a me, there's a you, and there's a me and a we and a we. And as Dr. Daniel Siegel would point out, we all have a different frequency, but we all connect from the heart when we are safe haven, secure base to each other, which is awesome. So the 5D collective, we're all Pachas. Even Cuscos, but we're Cuscos that are Pachas, so we do not lack accountability. So if I do tarot, you don't say, oh, but Maria, you told me that's not how tarot works. Do you own your destiny, or are you one of those who lives out the karma, the fate, the unconscious 0-8-year-old of you and think you know everything based on your very not healthy gut? Because Gabor Mate points out, it's not about why the addiction, it's why the pain. And I'm going to say, why would you treat your body like shit? Because that's the first thing that came to my mind as I met adolescent teenagers who were cowards. By the time I met the backstabbers, the liars, the cowards, they acted like big buffoons. They could give a shot. I'll never forget. Like, oh, open, close. Oh, wait, it's not personal at all. I can keep it open. That's how you choose to say yes to the Holy Spirit. That's catechism. Good, faithful Christian Catholic ones, not the ones who are telling us rumors about yoga bringing demons out of us. It's actually very ignorant. Not ones who stay with the medieval times and Scarlet Letter, nope, that go complete abstinence, really, wow, extremists. That's called adaptive child part. So you'll know when they never say never and ever, black, white thinkers, they have no idea how to own their embodied brain. So, as Sadhguru, great one, says, there are 2 kinds of people. Yes, those who make things happen, which are all the successful, intelligent, emotionally, mentally speaking people. And then those who enjoy it when it happens well, I mean, in the way they want, and complain when it does not, which is all the 3D, 4D successful, beautiful flatterers pat each other on the back. Fancy men and women in suits, they completely mesmerize you with their speeches. And who's mesmerized by buffoons? Let me think. Tick tock, tick tock. Ah, yes, I like and I don't like. I'm not really fond of cowards because they don't know how to do anything different except for insult you once you have gone beyond what their mind can comprehend. What, are you stupid? Not really. What are you? No, I don't use though regurgitation of material because I can't. I don't use my left brain. I use my right and my left, and I put my right foot in and my left foot in, and I shake them all about and do the hokey pokey. And that's why when my facade friend called me a hypocrite, I said, no, I'm not. I said, wait, Maria, that's your higher self talking to you. But he exists, and there's a me here. You want to hear what he has to say because, you know, your opinion is valid. He's a hypocrite because he doesn't know how to keep his word. He's a liar like any other adaptive child part. They change their mind. One day they're happy, one day they're not. One day they're good. It's called teenagers. Did you ever meet any? I did. I just chose not to be a coward like them because I don't like liars. Yes, but that's because I own my subconscious, and my 3-year-old said, you can't spank me, as in my body. And then I corrected the biological father who called me the wrong name. Yeah, so self-agents, we don't take no. No, we do take no for an answer, but it needs to be direct, succinct, and to the point. And then we need to make sure you're joking because I don't get jokes. Okay, I can accept no's. Different doesn't mean that we're better or worse. Sharpness of the intellect is not about outsmarting someone else. That's true, unless you're running out of trying to get away from a bear. You hope that you can get away from the bear. I'll choose a man, but then I say, can I ask what kind of man? Like, can I pick him? If I can pick him, I got already my brain. I chose who. There you go. I got 2 in my brain, 3, 4, 5. They're all here. And I don't choose any of the buffoons. No. It depends. No buffoons. We don't want them. They get very much like roosters in these very, very not necessary, wasting our time. Empowered feminines don't waste time with those who don't know how to make it. We will know that you have 1 a shot, a 2 a shot, a 3 a shot, maybe 4 a shot. By the 5th time, you're down, you're in the mud, life's tried, you're basically with 1 leg on the floor. And that's what happens to donkeys from Pinocchio's island. Like my facade friend, they end up compromising. But they will say that they live a best life, yes. And we will think, wow, that's not a ventral vagal state, I see. But hey, you're doing great in that. Very dark sides of neuroplasticity. It really is very boring once you meet the non-emotionally and mentally intelligent. So pseudo-intellectuals, they have us laugh. They provide some golden nuggets, but really not that much. I'm pseudoscience because I know what scientists bring to the table, and science and spirituality come together, and it's amazing. So smart human beings, they like to inspire human potential. The ones who are not smart like to say that humanity is going to be punished, and I think, wow, now they're playing God, and God doesn't punish his children like a moron. They really are not divinity at all. If they had any little remote piece of it, then they'd be in their prefrontal, they'd be sovereign, they'd know about equanimity and why it is the wisdom that gives clarity. Prefrontal cortex is called. You don't have free will, according to Robert Sapolsky. I'm going to say you do because there's Dr. Daniel Siegel, Dr. Daniel Fox, Patrick Tian, Terrio, Bessel van der Kolk, bunch of therapists, Pat Ogden. Peter Levine doesn't practice anymore, but he's great too. So anyone who actually takes themselves seriously, they're going to go and get themselves owned, because otherwise, you know, they'd be like, wow, I'm going to be basically potentially enmeshing, potentially codependent, emotionally mature, mentally mature. I'm going to act like a buffoon, and I'm going to not have sharpness. Yes, sharpness means seeing life just the way it is. So the truth doesn't lie. People don't like real talk when you're telling them what the truth is, which is there's good people, the ones who are self-aware, accountable, regulating people, and then there's bad ones. The bad ones all hang out together. And there's lawyers who do cocaine. They're considered bad in a person who loves to work only with entrepreneurs who are professionals who care about what they do. You're automatically a hypocrite. Why am I a hypocrite to my friend? Oh, because enlightened ones who are empowered have a consilience approach. So we don't get caught up with words, we actually enjoy. It's called a playground. Yes, we play with life, we play with thoughts, we play with emotions, because sadness isn't a curse. Anger, not a curse. Asking questions, not a curse. I have no problemo asking questions. And do you know what Terry Real says? If someone has a problem asking questions or answering them, you have an emotionally mature one, immature. So yes, when you meet teenagers, you know who they are because they don't know how to not take things personally. As they get older, they just get more very uninteresting. Then they think they know everything. There's no intellectual pizzazz at all. I mean, in fact, even science, I've never seen a medium ever. Okay, I'll let you speak because I'm curious of your golden nuggets and you're a scientist and I'm not. But other than that, wow, that's one hell of a fucking ego. But I'm a spiritual one. And so because I'm a pseudoscience, you know, I do a little bit of this and that. That's why we get called stupid by the ones who only pick at words very rigidly, might I add. And then it's like, okay, that's slowing me down. I can't be around them. They're way too immersed in this. So yeah, that we don't do life hit you hard. Life doesn't hit you. God don't hit you. God will nudge you like a good father will. A good one is a kind one. And firmness comes with kindness, and a good mother too. It's called securely attached, non-traumatized human beings who know how to self-regulate, because we learn to self-regulate based on mammals. So AI won't help you emotionally regulate, but it can give you a pat on the back if you want validation. And when you do real talk to people who don't like to hear it, if they're good with being themselves, then they'll figure out to be responsible, accountable, and they make decisions because it's called free will. If they want to point a finger, shame, blame, fault, revenge, well then we got, let me tell you something. Here's lovely, I love it, Sylvester Stallone. So remember the kid who is overshadowed by him and is avoiding his father? This is in the 6th Sylvester Stallone movie of Rocky, I forget what it's called. And this is like one of his powerful sentences. Let me tell you something. You already know the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Well, actually, for the wellness industry, it is positive vibes. It's called ventral energy vibes. So people who don't know how to do it, they think that we're rainbows and sunshines, and we are, because equanimity is really fun. So is creating resiliency, which is why we don't whine about whining. We don't whine. We just sometimes will say, you know, I'm really upset today, but I have 5 activities that I do that allow me to appreciate because I got 24 hours. I'm breathing. Tomorrow I'll see my loved ones, and that is the best gift ever. Oh, I'm also physically healthy. I have a roof over my head. Please don't fall. Dark matter, dark energy decided not to implode. So it's pretty straightforward when you're a self-sovereign agent in a body that is in ventral energy, mystic, spiritual, or mindful. Why? An enlightened one won't say, Zen master, you have laundry. I'm so sorry for you. Wow, that suffering bit. Buddha, man, Buddha and I have a thing. I make fun of him because he sat under a tree, and I say, Jesus walked with all the people. He suffered, he died, he got a cross, he got a, all this, and you sat, and they don't even use the full potential of that, which is ventral vagal toning exercises and integration of the brain. Because if you don't do solo, self, narrative, relational, and core, you haven't done the 9 domains of integration. And because spiritual bypassers like to think they know Lucifer, demons, energy vampires, dark wars, and the 144,000 chosen ones, and they actually take it upon themselves to think that they're the chosen ones. Does anybody know what teenagers like to do? They crowd around and say, we are different than you. And you see them all copying each other. That's not a different, they're all the same because they didn't own the sense of self, so they all mesh. And then they shared pain points. And they look, this is our list of what is right and what is wrong. Wow, you have a very interesting list. I'm going to say that subjective experience equals, I want it to be a world where it's not about what feels right, what is right. Yes, so sorry, but it's about feels, even if you think you have none. It's when people don't recognize their 3-year-old. The ones of us who do, we're like, yeah, I can be whiny sometimes. I can be a pain in the ass sometimes. What about you? Don't you know about flaws, imperfections? Anyone? So intuitiveness and channeling doesn't make you more special. Some of us do it. And then there's a scientist, and they talk about it with consciousness. There's 365 different theories or something like that of consciousness. I need to look into it. It's going to be fascinating as I get to learn more about neuroscience, quantum physics, and this dude who talked about all these different consciousness theories. And it's always funny for spiritual ones to see how science tries to figure it all out. They haven't figured out that there's a voice for every group. Ones of us who do know, they're not Lucifers or monsters, the one in the low frequency. Just this lifetime, they don't want to get their body in connection and own their sense of self. It's really sad, but it's not our choice. We can't make them choose to love themselves first, so the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. Oh, and when you get rejected by your family and I'm black sheep of the family, yes, aren't we all? Did you think society would always say, wow, you did such a great job? Don't you know how to say, I did the job that I wanted to do, which is, so when you meet grown people who still actually get upset that their immediate family doesn't like a very good choice they made for themselves, means they follow the law, makes them happy. They're choosing inner happiness. So if you do know self-enlightened, meant you say, yeah, my happiness comes first, but I'm not going to get in your face and be self-righteous or angry about anything. Just going to be able to know, well, I can understand that I irritate you and you can irritate me, because that's what happens when we don't like what we see in each other. I expect you to be me, you expect me to be you, and that's not how it works. And so it's a very mean and nasty place. I don't think so, but it is definitely, we have still a lot of stuff going on. Don't worry, it'll get better. God always takes care of everything. And so I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there, yet permanently if you let it. No, that actually, unless you've fallen and there's a rock on top of you, that's not going to happen. Like this, really. And and nobody is going to hit as hard as life. Again, life doesn't hit you, it caresses you, unless you don't listen. And then, well, Pinocchio fell flat on his face. And then luckily for him, it was a cartoon, not real life. So, you got to ask some people, they fall flat, and then they still don't get up and then do it, the healthy way. But you can't make someone wonder, wow, I treat my body like shit. Maybe I should go pay attention to Patrick Chan. No, maybe I should go to him completely. So as he points out, cowards like to make fun of the people who go and make them feel like they shouldn't be going to therapy. None of us who take therapy seriously say any of it. We're like, I got it. Nobody has the same body, and the ones who are healing, great. The ones who are cowards, we're not going to do anything with drama kings, queens, or theys, because if they consistently follow the drama kings, queens, and theys, they're not following the smart ones on purpose. As you can tell them, look, I have neuroscience. It explains resiliency, the bright sides, how you can work with your nervous system. It explains all of what personal growth, therapy is for, and then you do personal and spiritual growth so that you can actually continue to do mental intelligence and resiliency and emotional, so you can do mindfulness for real versus pretend to be a part of the wellness industry. And no, it's not tough. You don't do scribbly lines, some of us actually got the lucky end of the stick, because the Akashic Records book I have, as an Akashic record reader, know all about it. I come from the beginning of it. That's because I began at the end too, like everybody else. So, consciousness expands. I began, and I'll end with time. And some of us, we love to, who wants to live forever? Well, we don't always. Pure consciousness knows how it works. It's okay. We're not afraid. We're not afraid anymore. Yes, we're actually not afraid. The 9th chakra, we're expanding inner darkness. The expert yogis, yes, right here. I just don't use those words. It's called human secondary consciousness. I know that I don't know everything, and I know that I have meaning for me. For others, I might not, but I'd like to think that for my loved ones, I have some meaning, but they can tell that to me. And if I have no meaning whatsoever, I am of God, and he gave me the gift called life, and I would not waste it. I already smoke a little bit of, nothing bad, just cigars. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I drink a little bit, not too much. And I eat some junk food every now and then. So I think I keep a good balance, it has to be 100%. So with that, you or me is not going to hit as hard as life, but it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That is how it's done. Yeah, no. You don't have to do any of this once you learn how to navigate your ventral vagal state, because that's exactly why life, it doesn't weigh you down. Emotions don't weigh you down. Rejection doesn't weigh you down. It's called, I'm Maria, and you can't spank me. And even if you reject me, well, I'm so sorry that we can't be friends. But thank you for your time. It's been a great pleasure. That's how it works when you don't find any of what people call who insulted what, because you used a bad word. What? Bitch, witch, evil, Knievel, Lucifer, monsters. Which one of the many not interesting words can you come up with? This is exactly why I found teenagers ridiculously futile to hang around at a certain point. And then I got older and I didn't really notice much, because I choose who I hang out. And those few times that I've had people who got in my face in ways that I would be ashamed. I don't do the shame thing, because really it's only when you're an emotionally immature that you'll feel shame, because you'll actively be reactive, which is why, remember in today's video, I told you, it wasn't me being protected by others. No, it was I was being protected by looking like a fool and a buffoon. And also because I didn't know enough about attachment trauma education. So luckily for me, I got to be taught, and now I know how to handle every single emotionally immature person that ever comes across my presence, whether they're a spiritual bypasser or a not wellness, mentally intelligent human being. And that's because God taught me not to play know-it-all. My mom taught me to respect, and I said yes. And my body's smart, and I'm 4'9", so they can beat me to a pummel. So join us at IHP, being yourself, mindfully with flaws and integrity. And remember, 3D, 4D, yes, they can still make it to the 5D Christ consciousness, oneness consciousness if they want. But we can't make them open their heart and choose to be in their ventral ego state and choose to own their sense of self and choose to take however long it takes, as Bezel van der Kolk points out, to do that. But we can talk about it. And we'll talk some more about it. So tune on in.